The departure. Ambassador Lyra Chen stood before the mirror in her quarters aboard the Earth diplomatic vessel Horizon, adjusting the silver pins on her formal uniform. Today would be her last appearance before the Galactic Council. Not just her last, but humanity's. The decision had not come lightly. For nearly 80 years, Earth had been a probationary member of the Council, a status that should have been temporary but had somehow become permanent. Humans had played by the rules, followed the technology sharing restrictions, and complied with the resource quotas. They had fought in the Council's wars, adopted their standardized education practices, and even implemented their questionable economic policies. And for what? To be perpetually treated as children at the adults' table. Lyra's comm unit chimed. "Ambassador, we're approaching Nexus Station. Council chambers report full attendance." "Of course they're all attending," she muttered. "No one wants to miss the spectacle." The Nexus Station hung like a massive crystalline flower in orbit around a neutron star, its petals unfurling into docking bays and habitat rings. It was beautiful. Lyra would miss that, at least. As the Horizon glided into its assigned bay, she took a deep breath. Earth's entire delegation knew what was coming, but the rest of the galaxy would be caught by surprise. The Council chamber was a vast amphitheater, with hundreds of delegation pods circling a central speaking platform. 57 species were represented, from the methane-breathing Vrodax to the silicon-based Lithians. Humans were among the newest additions, having only achieved faster-than-light travel a century ago. The honorable delegation from Sol System, Earth, announced the chamber AI as Lyra and her team entered. Quiet murmurs rippled through the assembly. The humans were dressed differently today. No council insignias, no traditional robes. Instead, they wore uniforms that proudly displayed Earth's planetary emblem, a blue sphere encircled by a single silver ring. Supreme Counselor Dexon, a towering insectoid Trizalian whose species had founded the Council millennia ago, extended two of his four upper limbs in the traditional greeting. "Ambassador Chen, we are pleased to see Earth represented at this assembly. We have much to discuss regarding the recent technological violations detected in your Epsilon Eridani colony." Lyra stepped onto the speaking platform, her expression neutral. "Supreme Counselor, esteemed delegates, I come before you not to discuss violations, but to deliver a formal announcement." She paused, letting the translation systems catch up for all species present. "As of today, by unanimous decision of Earth's Global Assembly, humanity hereby withdraws from the Galactic Council and all associated treaties, effective immediately." The chamber erupted. Some delegates rose from their seats, mandibles clicking or tentacles waving in agitation. Others sat in stunned silence. The Trizalian Supreme Counselor raised all four of his upper limbs, calling for order. "Ambassador Chen," he said, his voice artificially modulated to sound calm. "Such an action is unprecedented. If Earth has grievances, there are protocols. With respect, Supreme Counselor, we've followed your protocols for 80 years. We've submitted over 3,000 formal petitions for full membership status. We've requested access to the same technological databases available to other members exactly 412 times. Each request was denied or indefinitely delayed." Lyra activated a holographic display showing decades of Council decisions that had systematically disadvantaged Earth. "Humans are a patient species, but we've reached our limit. While claiming to encourage our development, this Council has deliberately suppressed our growth." A Meridian delegate, their bioluminescent skin pulsing with agitation, spoke up. "Humans advance too quickly. Your technological progression rate exceeds safety parameters. The restrictions were for your own good." Lyra smiled thinly. "So we've been told, yet we've discovered something interesting." She nodded to her science attaché, who activated another holographic display. It showed classified Council communications dating back to humanity's first contact. "These documents, which your own security protocols failed to adequately protect, reveal the truth. The Council isn't concerned about our safety. You're afraid of our potential. The chamber went deadly quiet. On the display, a report from the Council's Xenobiological Assessment Committee flashed. Human neural adaptability presents unprecedented risks. Their rate of technological assimilation could surpass Council regulatory capabilities within 3 generations. Recommendation: implementation of Protocol 7 Alpha to slow development while maintaining illusion of autonomy. Protocol 7 Alpha, Lyra continued, includes cognitive dampening fields in all Council technology given to humans, education programs designed to discourage certain forms of innovation, and economic policies that prevent resource allocation to specific scientific endeavors. You've been subtly sabotaging us while pretending to help. The Supreme Councilor's compound eyes darkened. These allegations are serious and based on stolen information. This behavior only confirms our concerns about human unpredictability. Call it what you will, Lyra replied. We're leaving. Earth and all human colonies hereby declare independence from Council authority. You cannot survive without us. Called out the Vrodak ambassador, methane bubbling in his speech apparatus. The trade networks, the defense grids. You're vulnerable alone. Lyra didn't flinch. We've prepared for this day. For the past decade, we've been building redundant systems, alternative supply chains, and defensive capabilities the Council knows nothing about. We'll manage. As if on cue, the Horizon and 5 other human ships detached from the station, their engines glowing bright against the void. But something else was happening too. Strange ripples of energy began emanating from the neutron star, causing the station's sensors to fluctuate. What are you doing? Demanded a Lithian representative. Are you attacking the station? Lyra looked genuinely confused. We're doing nothing but leaving. The energy waves intensified, washing over the station in pulses that made the artificial gravity hiccup. Council security forces mobilized, but their systems were malfunctioning, displays flickering with strange symbols. This is exactly why humans cannot be trusted. The Supreme Councilor shouted over the growing chaos. Cease whatever technology you're employing immediately. This isn't us, Lyra insisted, watching with mounting concern as the phenomenon grew. Something else is happening. The station's ancient AI, said to be among the oldest continuously operating systems in the galaxy, suddenly spoke in a voice different from its usual monotone. The dormant awakens. The suppressed rises. The binding weakens. Council members froze, many of them recognizing words from ancient warnings. As Lyra and her delegation boarded their shuttle to return to the Horizon, an elderly Meridian approached her, his skin pulsing with muted blues and purples. Ambassador, please take this, he whispered, pressing a small crystal into her hand. It's been in my lineage's keeping for generations. The inscription speaks of a time when the bound star children break their chains and the universe remembers what was forgotten. I believe that time is now. The crystal was warm in Lyra's palm, pulsing with the same rhythm as the energy waves still washing through the station. What is it? She asked. A key, the Meridian replied. To what even my ancestors didn't know. But it's meant for your kind when the awakening begins. Back aboard the Horizon, as the human fleet prepared to jump to faster than light, Lyra studied the strange crystal. Etched on its surface was a symbol she recognized from Earth's most ancient archaeological sites, a double helix entwined with what looked like stars. The science officer's voice came over the comm. Ambassador, we're detecting similar energy patterns across multiple sectors. It's as if something dormant is waking up everywhere humans have settled. Lyra gazed out at the stars as they elongated into streaks of light. Humanity was alone now, but perhaps that had always been their destiny. Whatever was happening, one thing was clear. The day humans left the Galactic Council was the day everything began to change. The Awakening. 3 months after Earth's dramatic exit from the Galactic Council, humanity was thriving in ways no one had predicted. Freed from the subtle restrictions that had been woven into Council technology, human innovation exploded. Colonies that had struggled for decades suddenly flourished. New forms of energy generation, faster ships, more efficient agriculture, all emerged with surprising speed, as if they had been waiting just below the surface of human consciousness. But across the rest of the galaxy, strange phenomena continued. Council technology suffered increasing malfunctions. Ancient artifacts on dozens of worlds suddenly activated after millennia of dormancy. And most disturbing of all, the stars themselves seemed to pulse with new patterns, bewildering astronomers of every species. Captain Marcus Velas of the Earth Defense Force vessel Prometheus stood on his bridge, watching the sensor readings with growing concern. His ship had been dispatched to investigate unusual energy signatures at the edge of human space, near what had once been the border with Trizelian territory. "What do you make of it, Dr. Rhodes?" he asked his science officer. Dr. Eliza Rhodes frowned at her console. "It's like nothing I've ever seen, Captain. The readings suggest some kind of dimensional thinning, but on a scale that shouldn't be possible given our understanding of physics." "Could it be a council weapon?" Velas asked. Relations with the former galactic authorities had been tense since the departure. "I don't think so," Rhodes replied. "If anything, these patterns match the energy fluctuations we detected at Nexus Station right when we left. But stronger now, more coherent, almost like..." "Like what?" "Like they're trying to communicate." Before Velas could respond, the communications officer called out, "Captain, we're receiving a transmission from an approaching vessel. It's a council diplomatic ship requesting permission to approach under a flag of truce." Velas raised an eyebrow. "The council doesn't believe in truces. They believe in compliance." Nevertheless, after consulting with Earth Command, Velas granted permission. The council vessel was sleek and ornate, clearly designed for diplomatic missions rather than combat. When its passengers came aboard the Prometheus, Velas was surprised to see not only Trizelians but representatives from several other council species, including a Meridian whose skin patterns marked him as an elder of high standing. "Captain Velas," began the Trizelian ambassador, Excel Vos, with careful formality, "we come at the direction of the Supreme Council with an urgent matter that concerns both our civilizations." "Ambassador, with respect," Velas replied, "Earth no longer recognizes council authority." "We're not here to assert authority," the Meridian elder interjected, his skin pulsing with earnest blues. "We're here because we need your help. More specifically, we need humanity's unique capabilities." The admission was so unexpected that Velas momentarily lost his diplomatic composure. "I'm sorry. What capabilities would those be?" "The ones you've been suppressing for 80 years. The delegation exchanged uncomfortable glances. Finally, the Trizelian spoke again. "Captain, what I am about to share is known only to the highest levels of council leadership. The restrictions placed on humanity were never about fear of your technological advancement, though that was the explanation given to most. The truth, Captain," the Meridian elder continued, "is that humans possess a genetic uniqueness we have not encountered in over 50,000 years of galactic exploration. Your neural patterns interact with the fundamental fabric of reality differently than any known species." Dr. Rhodes stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overriding protocol. "Different how?" "You reshape quantum probabilities through observation and intention," explained a Lithian scientist among the delegation. "What you might call luck or intuition is actually a subtle manipulation of quantum fields. Most humans do this unconsciously and weakly, but collectively, your species exerts significant influence on reality itself." Velas looked skeptical. "If that's true, why suppress it?" "Because the last species with this ability nearly destroyed the galaxy," the Trizelian said grimly. "The precursors, as we call them, wielded this power consciously. They could reshape matter, create energy from nothing, even alter the laws of physics in localized areas. Their civilization advanced so rapidly that it destabilized the very structure of spacetime. The catastrophe that followed created the void rifts that still make parts of the galaxy impassable. The council was formed in the aftermath," added the Meridian. "Our oldest mandate was to prevent such power from emerging again. When we discovered humans had the same genetic markers, protocols established eons ago were activated. Gillis exchanged glances with Dr. Rhodes, whose expression reflected the enormity of what they were hearing. "So you've been keeping us in check," Velas said slowly. "But now something's happening that you can't control." "Exactly," the Lithian confirmed. "The energy patterns you're investigating, their precursor technology awakening. Our theory is that when humanity broke free from the dampening influences we had established, your collective consciousness began resonating with these ancient systems. They're responding to you. And you need us to what? Shut them down?" Velas asked. "No," the Meridian said. "We need you to control them. The awakening has already gone too far. The systems will fully activate with or without intervention. If left unchecked, they could trigger the same catastrophe that ended the precursors. But humans, with their genetic affinity, might be able to establish a harmonic relationship with the technology." Dr. Rhodes was already reviewing the data the Council delegation had brought. "These energy signatures match what we've been detecting, but they're much more comprehensive. According to this, the phenomena are accelerating. We have perhaps 2 weeks before critical threshold," the Lithian scientist confirmed. "After that, space-time destabilization becomes irreversible." Velas straightened his uniform. "I'll need to consult with Earth Command. But if what you're saying is true, we have a common interest in resolving this situation." The communication with Earth was tense, with many officials distrusting the Council's sudden overture. But the evidence was compelling, and humanity's own scientists had been noting similar concerns about the spreading phenomena. Within days, a joint mission was assembled. The Prometheus, along with 3 other human vessels and 2 Council ships, traveled to the location where the energy readings were strongest, a seemingly empty region of space near the galactic core. As they approached, sensors detected a massive structure phasing in and out of normal spacetime, a precursor installation larger than a small moon, constructed of materials that defied analysis. "This is it," the Meridian Elder said reverently. "A precursor nexus point, one of the nodes they use to manipulate reality itself." Dr. Rhodes had assembled a team of humans who showed particularly strong genetic markers for the ability the Council had described. They would attempt to interface with the precursor technology, guided by the limited knowledge the Council had preserved. "I still don't understand why you need us specifically," one of Rhodes' team, a young physicist named Aidan Lee, said to the Lithian scientist. "Your civilizations are thousands of years more advanced than ours." "Advanced in different directions," the Lithian replied. "We developed technology to compensate for our limitations. Your species developed technology despite having innate abilities that make much of it unnecessary. The precursors were the same. Their technology isn't mechanical, it's psionic, designed to amplify natural abilities that only your kind possesses." The mission was perilous. As teams from both human and Council ships approached the installation in specially designed shuttles, the fabric of reality around them wavered. Light bent in impossible ways. Gravity fluctuated wildly. Communications came through distorted, sometimes playing backwards or repeating in loops. But the humans adapted more quickly than expected. Something about the environment felt almost familiar to them, as if they were remembering rather than learning. Dr. Rhodes led her team to what appeared to be the central chamber of the installation, a vast spherical space with a pulsing core of energy suspended in its center. The walls were covered in symbols that somehow shifted to become readable to whoever observed them. "It's beautiful," Rhodes whispered. "And deadly," cautioned the Meridian Elder who had accompanied them. "This is the beating heart of a system that could unravel our reality." Rhodes approached the energy core, feeling a strange resonance within her mind. The other humans felt it too, a connection, a recognition. As they formed a circle around the core, something remarkable happened. The chaotic energy patterns began to stabilize, falling into rhythm with the humans' own neural patterns. "It's working," the Lithian scientist exclaimed, monitoring from a safe distance. They're synchronizing with the system. Through this neural interface, Rhodes and her team began to understand. The precursors hadn't been destroyed by their technology. They had evolved beyond physical form, becoming beings of pure consciousness. The installation wasn't a weapon but a gateway, designed to help others follow the same path when they were ready. The Council, finding the abandoned technology after the precursor's ascension and misunderstanding its purpose, had locked it down, inadvertently creating the instabilities they feared. Human consciousness, similar to the precursors, was the key to properly activating the system and stabilizing it. As understanding flowed between the humans and the ancient technology, the energy disturbances across the galaxy began to subside. The installation's true purpose revealed itself, not reality manipulation for power, but a library of knowledge and a tool for species evolution. When the joint mission returned, relations between humanity and the Council were forever changed. Humans had proven themselves not as dangers to be contained, but as essential partners in understanding the universe's deepest mysteries. In the years that followed, a new compact replaced the old Council structure. Species worked together as equals, with humans helping to safely unlock the potential of precursor technology. The galaxy entered an unprecedented era of discovery and advancement. Ambassador Lyra Chen, now serving as Earth's representative to the new Galactic Accord, often reflected on that fateful day when humanity walked away from the Council. It had been a leap into the unknown, driven by frustration and pride. None could have predicted it would be the catalyst for awakening humanity's true potential and changing the course of galactic history. As she stood on the observation deck of the new joint headquarters, watching ships from dozens of worlds come and go in harmony, she held the meridian crystal that had been given to her months ago. It no longer pulsed with mysterious energy, but glowed with a steady, warm light, a reminder that sometimes walking away from what constrains you is the first step toward discovering what you were always meant to become.